me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's live.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sundas Mubashir from HR Consultants. HR Consultants is one of the top consultancy organizations that helps the students to go through a smooth application process when it comes to foreign education. It helps you with to choose best suitable options that can help you build your future career. At this difficult times, Consultants is here to help you. Today, I will be hosting a session that is related to why we should study in Australia. And in our discussion, we will be discussing about one of the renowned university in Australia, that is Flinders University. Today, we have with me, I have guest Miss Melissa Willoughby, who is the country recruitment manager at Flinders, Mr. Suleiman Kath, who is in-country representative for Flinders University, and our senior Australian admission team manager, Mr. Kamran Chuktai. So one question rises, why? Why we should choose Australia? When people think of Australia, they think of wide open spaces of outback bushes, kangaroos, koala bears, clean air and water. But believe you me, Australia is much more to offer. It is one of the third most popular destinations in English speaking world. It offers multicultural diversity, friendly native, and high quality of education. Graduates from Australia are highly sought due to impressed global recognized Australian education, which is maintained and regulated by the government. Living expense of the Australia is considered to be one of the highest, but believe you me, living expense and the tuition fees is quite affordable in Australia. International students are allowed to work part-time jobs along with their education in order to offset their living expense. Australian universities offer a wide variety of courses and degrees that help the student to find their field of interest and subjects that are best suitable for them. Australian universities also benefit the students by providing sufficient amount of scholarships, thus inclining their interest to study in Australia. Today, we will be discussing one of this renowned university called Flinders University in Australia. I will hand over the discussion to Mr. Kamran Chuptai. But before that, let me introduce to Flinders University a little bit. It was established in 1966 by Matthew Flinders. It has achieved great awards in the field of innovative research and high quality of teaching. Graduates from Flinders University have a vision to become world leaders and innovators in the platform of business, research, and technology, with a mission to change life and change the world. I will hand over the discussion to Mr. Kamran Chuptai. If you want to proceed your applications, you can send in your details at on WhatsApp 03225757 You can also type in your questions that can be answered accordingly. So Mr. Kamran Chuktai, I hand over it to you.
Thank you very much. That was a very good introduction, I believe. And there's not much left for me. You've done very well. But regarding today's session, we'll take question and answers after. But before that, I would like Melissa to please introduce Flinders University to our Pakistani students, and obviously your main man, your main contact person as well. Melissa, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Cameron. Was mentioned, my name is Melissa Willoughby and I'm the Country Recruitment Manager here at Flinders University. And as was mentioned, we also have our in-country representative, Suleiman Kath, on the call as well, on the on the live as well. So I'll be sharing his details a bit later on. But firstly, I wanted to say Ramadan Mubarak. Hopefully I've said that correctly. So, and I'll share my screen and I will get into the presentation. Now, Hopefully, is that starting to come through?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, firstly, I'll just start with some of the rankings. So, Flinders is #1 in South Australia in terms of teaching quality, student support, student-teacher ratio, student retention, and starting salary. So, some really important rankings there. The other ranking that's not mentioned there that we're also ranked #1 in South Australia is also within the employability. So these rankings just give you a little bit of an example of some of the incredible things about Flinders University and why it's such an amazing place to study. So firstly, I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So I studied at Flinders University myself. I studied a Bachelor of International Business, and so I'm actually an alumni of Flinders University, and I have a very strong connection to the university. And so I can speak very wholeheartedly and say to you that you will have an incredible experience studying on the campus and have that support in terms of the in-classroom teacher support and also student support for while you're studying as well. So Flinders University is located in Adelaide. So Adelaide is one of the smaller cities in Australia, but still it has a lot to offer. So some of the amazing things about Adelaide is that it's in the top 5 most livable cities, and it is the #1 most affordable city in Australia. So behind us, in this photo, you can see Adelaide Oval. So I know that there's a lot of cricket fans that may be familiar with Adelaide Oval. So this is our premier cricket stadium. And one of the things I'll say is that even though Adelaide is one of the smaller cities, there is still a lot of things that go on throughout the year, a lot of festivals, a lot of sporting events. And obviously right now, not as many, but in general, there's a lot happening. There's still a lot of good employment options for students, but it has that balance where it is that the affordability there as well. So it's a fantastic, in my opinion, the best city to study in Australia. So another little thing about Adelaide that's quite important is that it's considered a regional city. So it's not regional in the sense that it's, a small country town. But it is eligible for the extra year of post-study work. So students who have done 2 years of study in Australia at a higher education level, they are eligible for an extra year of post-study work, right? So they can have the 2 years plus the 1 extra year as well from being in Adelaide in South Australia. So that's an added extra bonus of studying in South Australia. So this is a map of Australia. You may be familiar. So you can see where Flinders is located in the south of Australia. So South Australia is a Mediterranean climate, so a really lovely climate. You'll have all the 4 seasons throughout the year. We're currently coming into winter, so it is a cooler time of year, but it's still still a lovely time of year. Often when I'm talking to Suleiman, he's saying, "I'm so hot." I'm in Adelaide saying, "It's really nice. We're cool weather here at the moment." So sometimes he wants to come and swap for a little while. But just in terms of the location, so Flinders is located in a really central location. We're 20 minutes from the CBD of Adelaide and 20 minutes from the airport and 15 minutes to the beach. I'll mention the beach because there are beautiful beaches in South Australia, clean, pristine beaches that, is very obviously easy to get to. So a really central location. The good thing about Flinders being just that little bit out of the CBD means that we've got a lot of space. So there's actually a free loop bus that will take students to all the different parts of the campus that they need to go because it is such a big campus. So you can see here, we actually have 3 campuses. So we have our main campus, which is Bedford Park, and you can see that beautiful hub facility in the top photo. And often we have events throughout the year there, movie nights, you know, music events, all sorts, sporting events, all sorts of things happening in that area. It's up on the hill, so you're looking over the ocean, over the beach, and yeah, you can see in the next photo is the lake. So a really lovely location to study in, very much surrounded by nature. So it's common to see koalas on campus. It's yeah, a beautiful location. 5 minutes from there, you'll see Tonsley campus, which is our tech hub. So that was built 5 years ago, and it was a $120 million investment by the university. And it has state-of-the-art facilities in terms of our engineering, IT, as well as our New Ventures Institute for entrepreneurship subjects are taught there. So it is an incredibly advanced technological hub, and the resources are so good that the other universities within the state actually come and utilise those. So we have the robotics lab, we have the Cisco labs, so an incredible facility, 5 minutes from our main campus, and the Loop bus will take you there as well. We also have Victoria Square campus, which is our city campus. So even though our main campus is 20 minutes from the city, we do have a city-based campus too, but that is mainly for our postgraduate business and our postgraduate government subjects that we teach. So there are 3 campuses. We also are the only university in South Australia where we have on-campus living, and you have the 2 styles. So you've got the university hall dormitory style or the independent living. So the dormitory style, obviously you get all of your meals and everything provided into that, and the Deirdre Jordan Village, the independent style, obviously you do your own shopping and cooking and things like that. But it's all literally a 5-minute walk across the bridge to the main campus. So it's very, very convenient location. Now, this is a very exciting development for Flinders, is that it's called Flinders Village. So, and the first part of the Flinders Village is an extension of the train line. So that's going direct from the city straight to our main Bedford Park campus. Currently, we have a train that goes to the Tonsley campus, and this is extending it through to the main campus. So that will be very convenient for students to be able to get to the campus and back to the city, and all within under 20 minutes. So it's going to be very convenient, and it's the start of the Flinders Village project, and that project is building 3,000 more accommodation beds on campus, as well as more retail shops. So one thing about Flinders that's quite unique is that it's more like that US style campus where you come on campus and everything's on there. So you've got your post office, you've got your shops, you've got your restaurants, cafes, everything. So you come and you can stay there. Now that's something where I feel like it really creates this incredible environment, not just for study, not just for expanding your mind and doing amazing things, but also for building those connections to your lecturers, connections to other students, and that's really important. Often if you don't have everything on campus, or if you're sort of very in the city where you can sort of leave, it's harder to create those connections. Whereas you'll find with Flinders is that it's very easy to stay on campus and really make those connections. So another exciting thing is that we do have scholarships. A lot of our programs have scholarships, and it's called the Go Beyond Scholarship Program. There is on the website, you can see all the programs that are eligible for that scholarship, and all the eligibility requirements about that. And Suleiman can also go through any more specific detail around that. But it's basically a 25% of your first year's tuition fees, so a reduction of that. So it is eligible for undergraduate and postgraduate programs, and it covers a wide range of our programs. So one thing I haven't mentioned yet is Flinders is what you would call a comprehensive university. So there's almost 500 programs that we teach at Flinders University. So pretty much anything that you would want to study, we offer. There's, there may be every now and again one, specific area that we might not have almost everything that we have, and from bachelor through to master's through to research level. So yeah, anything that you could pretty much think of, we would probably offer at Flinders. This gives you a little indication of just general fees, what they're starting point from. So with the scholarship, you're looking at around 21,750 for undergraduate. And for postgraduate, you're looking at 23,250 after the scholarship's been applied. So we have 6 colleges at Flinders University. We have the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, the College of Medicine and Public Health, the College of Business, Government and Law, the College of Science, Engineering and IT, the College of Education, Psychology and Social Work, and the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences. So all of our 500 programs fall into those colleges, 6 colleges. So just as a little summary, and we can go next into questions around this because I know that everyone would have lots of questions. So I just wanted to give you a little update in terms of the university's response to the current situation. So our first priority was to make sure every student that international student and every student at Flinders University was taken care of through this time. So the university announced a $12.5 million support package to students, which consisted of scholarships and loans and fee waivers and things like that of amenities fees. So that has been an incredible support to our students. And I have recently been speaking to some of our students who said that they felt really supported through this time, and they are having a good experience, which I'm really glad to hear, because it has obviously been quite a challenge. So Flinders is in the top universities in terms of the financial support that they've provided their students. I think we're in the top 3 or 4, so in Australia wide. So really been very, generously supporting our students, which is important. And our state government has also put in an additional $13.9 million to support our students as well. So that has been our first priority. And now the next questions are coming in terms of what happens next in terms of our semester 2 and our July intakes and things like that. And one thing, the first thing I'll say is that we are proceeding as usual. So all of our admissions team, everybody is still processing applications. And so, people can continue to apply and accept offers and things like that as usual. Semester 2 will have an online intake. So everything that we would normally offer in a semester 2 intake will be available. And basically students will be able to study like a less load. They won't need to be doing a full-time load because obviously that could be challenging. So I'll leave it at that. Also, if you want any further information around that, the COVID website, the COVID page on our website would be a really good place to start. Flinders is in the top 150 in terms of public health. I'll just mention this just because it relates to this. So our key education director within public health is one of the key advisors to the state in terms of epidemiology and public health around this. So Flinders is very well placed in terms of this area. So I'll finish on that. You can see if you wanted to just quickly write down some details there to be able to contact Suleiman, and I will stop sharing my screen and open up to questions.
Great. Thank you very much, Melissa. You presented it very well. I believe there are not many questions left for me, but okay. Obviously, as we are live, I can see on my screen there are a lot of questions popping up. So starting with students' questions, I believe I have a question, which is very important. There was something mentioned on your COVID-19 website that the online courses are not in the breach of the visa. Could you please explain that? That's very important for our students.
Yes, I will. So that one is referring to the current students who are studying online in Australia at the moment. So the Department of Home Affairs has come out and said that those students are not going to be negatively affected for having to study online for this semester. What we have done is we are asking the department for clarity around students who are going to be starting their semester offshore online to make sure that those students will be okay as well and that won't be negatively affected as well. We believe that they're going to be supportive of that, but we will know more very soon.
So there are hopes for these students that if they study at homes, they will have support in their visas when the things will look normal.
Yeah, the way that I view it, obviously, I don't work for the Department of Home Affairs, and I can't, I can't say what exactly they're going to do. But what I would say is that if I was a case officer and I was looking at a student who started online, even if they started with one subject, that really shows a genuine interest in study. So I would see that in a very positive way in terms of, when it comes time for them to transition to onshore, I wouldn't see, I would see that as a very positive uh, thing in terms of, visas and things like that. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, I can't say exactly what they
Well,
would do,
as
but
you know, that
that's how I would see it. Mm.
yeah, of course, understandable. And as you know, that my number is popping up on the screen, so I'm getting a few WhatsApp messages as well. So I addressed my students. He questioned me that he has done Bachelor of Arts in 2015 with 51% marks. Would that student be eligible for some diploma or master's program? That's a Bachelor of Arts, which is 2 years bachelor's program with a 51% mark. So 14 years of education in 2015. The guy has been working ever since from 2015 till date. Would he be considered for any course? This is a question popped up on my screen just right. Would you please like to answer that? Maybe
I'll
Suman.
let you answer that one, Suleiman.
Yes.
So the student studied 14 years of education in 2015. Currently stands at a 5-year study gap. And when it comes to foreign education, it's not always seen as a good thing that a student is opting to work before they complete their undergraduate studies. So having a 5-year gap with no educational background more than 14 years, it's not easy to give such a student any sort of a hope for that matter. Um, we do have programs available in creative arts. If the student wishes to go through the course outlines and the modules, they may, and then maybe get in contact with the international office in terms of the application process via HR consultants, of course, and they'll be the better judge and the better guide in this regard.
Great. I had the question addressed anyway because there was a question coming up, so I could not ignore it. There's another question from one of the students who's looking for the entry criteria for DAE. We have a diploma of associate engineering. There's the student asking for admission entry requirements. It's an intermediate technically, but 13 years of education in technical industry. So, Suleiman, I think this question again refers to you. So, if you would like to answer that question, that would be kind.
Diploma students have two streams that they can use, one being the foundation stream and one being the diploma stream itself. Because as you know, diploma done in the Flinders International Study Center is not considered as the diploma that is being done in Pakistan. It's considered as year one of university, and upon the successful completion of that diploma, the student can enter year two of university. So this is the best stream that we can offer to our students who have completed their diploma, because unfortunately Flinders University does not entertain intermediate or DAE students coming in directly to study a bachelor's program.
But they have the route for diploma.
Oh yes, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
Have a
But then
relevant-
again,
one of
I
my
would like to
colleagues, they
add
have just-
something. Yes, I would like to
Please.
add something here, Kamran sir. It completely depends as to when that DAE was completed. So
Yes,
if that
of
was
course, of
completed
course.
recently, or if the student does not have a gap which precedes more than a year, then of course they are eligible to apply. Otherwise,
Understandable. Understandable. The intermediate has to be in the last finished in the last 2 years' time, according to the legal requirements.
last 1 year. So
Okay, I have another
recent
similar
ones.
question. Yes, similar question. What are the entry requirements for undergraduate programs of intermediate students who are from Pakistan for HSSC and ICOM ICS background? Could you please elaborate that for
Uh,
me?
so Kamran Sahab, we don't entertain intermediate students directly, but we have a route for them. So students coming in with 41 to 45% can come into the extended foundation program, which is for 1 year. Students coming in from,
That's a
yes,
very good point. You said 41 to 45%
yes,
going to foundation, which is a
It-
blessing, I believe, because if
yes,
my viewers are listening to me, students, if you guys are listening to me, this is very important. Anyone with an intermediate cleared within the last year scored 41% to 45%, you guys can go to Australia. This is a very
yes.
important
This is the
point
extended
you
foundation
need to
program.
note it.
45 to 50 is the standard foundation program, which is 8 months.
Standard foundation.
Then 50% and
Okay.
over is where we offer our diploma programs.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. That's good. Right. Another question relevant to this, Melissa, over to you. Students can join diploma and foundation programs. Unfortunately, due to the IELTS closures and all that, do we have any flexibility for these students on IELTS requirements?
So at the moment, what we're saying is that we are following our normal entry requirements, but the university is basically exploring the IELTS indicator and all of the online options at the moment. The main thing that we're trying to make sure is that Department of Home Affairs are also going to be able to accept that. So we do know that the IELTS indicator has been designed as an academic test, not as a test for a visa application. So we're waiting for confirmation on that from Department of Home Affairs, and we at this stage what we can say is we do have our English partners. So we have a whole range of English partners which Suleiman can let you know about, and basically they have online tests which you can do, and from there you can start your studies online. So that is one thing. If you're needing to do English, you could start it online. Also, if you did their test and you met the requirements, obviously that would meet admissions requirements. However, we think at this point we haven't had confirmation from Home Affairs, but at this point it would stand that you'd still need an official English test for the visa application.
Okay,
Hopefully that makes sense.
hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah, it does. I was just talking
Okay.
about the flexibility because some students who missed out in the previous intakes, they might have some leverage from the point, and then they can join.
Yes. We do have options for them. They can start online, they can do an online test. They can start some English online if they need to. So there is options for them.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. Moving on with the questions. Again, the IELTS question and the ELICOS options. Those students who cannot meet the direct entry requirements for English. What are you guys offering for those students if they do not meet the entry requirements for English?
Yes, so we have a number of partners that we work with, and Suleiman can give you the list of those partners, or you can go onto our website and you'll be able to see all of our English partners on there. Basically, they have online tests that you can do to assess your level of English and how many weeks you would need to do with them. And they are providing their English programs online as well. So you can get that all underway and started straight away.
Right. Suleiman, another question from one of my colleagues regarding the HND students. You know that higher national diploma, the British qualification, which is technically completed after A levels, and that is considered as first 2 years of master's degree for UK entry. How about Flinders accepting those students with an HND background?
Sir, HND in general, if we have a look at it in a broader perspective, it's actually 15 years of education, but somehow can be considered as 16 years of education. in such a case, we can definitely look into a pre-master's option for a student, which will lead to a master's degree program, because eventually a student will have to complete 16 years of education before entering their master's degree with us at Flinders University. So there is a pathway option available for students coming in with any or every background, and they have intentions of studying in Flinders University. We will be more than happy to entertain students.
Great, thank you. Right, Melissa, another question from one of the students. There's a student named Samir Hassan. He asked a question regarding machine learning online classes. Do you offer machine learning programs?
So pretty much, I don't know, like machine learning may be a subject, but basically in terms of what I was saying before, the programs that we would normally, like the courses that we would normally have face-to-face will be offered online for semester 2. We're yet to have the list of exact subjects though that will be offered online. So that should be coming to us within the next week. Basically, we'll have that clarity very soon, so it's stay tuned in terms of exactly what subjects will be available online for semester 2.
Okay. Looking at the current scenario, our Pakistani students are concerned about their visas as well. You know, we all know that visas are on hold for now, and the admissions are in process, semesters are in process, are accepted, GT conditions are being met. Could you please let us know about what is going on in Australia and any good news so far from Australia? And our students can look into it, how they will pursue with their admissions in the next semester?
Yeah, so one thing I'll say, just to give you a little bit of a background about what's, the situation in Australia from being on the ground here, is we've had 11 days of no cases in Australia. So, not in Australia, in South Australia where I'm located. So we're in a very good place. So basically things are looking like all the restrictions very, very soon. So you may have heard they've already started some discussions around flights between Australia and New Zealand as the starting point. So things are slowly starting to pick up. People are starting to return, stop working from home and starting to return to working from the office. And we are set to be back on campus within the next 2 weeks. So things are progressing very well here. And, for the very small cases that, may come up like 1s and 2s, we have a very good healthcare. Things are being managed, very well here.
Okay, that is a brilliant news for students from Pakistan who are concerned about going to Australia. Guys, the most important thing is that Flinders is going to be back working and on campus. The staff will be on campus within the next 2 weeks, which is a brilliant news. I think this is the best I heard in so far in the last 15, 20 years, that somebody is going back to office, in 2 weeks. This is a brilliant news. I've not heard this news in our last 1.5 months, maybe. Okay, so this is brilliant. Secondly, for the past 11 days, no new cases for coronavirus, which is even brilliant, which means that Australian government is making sure that everything is back in line within the next 2 to 4 weeks. Am I correct, Melissa?
Yeah, so for us, yes, that's what it's all looking like so far, is that's the indicators that we're getting. Schools are back, so all of our kids are back in school in South Australia, which all the parents were very excited about. Because after a long period of having your children home, everyone was ready to go back to school. So yeah, it's looking very likely that for, everything's going to be all those restrictions are starting to lessen, which is really positive.
Great. That's brilliant news. And I'm very happy that, we have had you today on this session, because whoever is watching, all of my Pakistani students, this is, guys, very important for you, and very good news. Good news in the past 1.5 months, maybe, that, Flinders University is back on campus within the next 2 weeks' time. So apply for your admissions, apply for your visas, make sure that you apply at this university because there are a lot of opportunity for you guys within South Australia. As Melissa mentioned in the beginning, they have a beautiful campus. And I believe, while having so much of facilities on your campus, that also gets us, our students part-time jobs as well on campus, Melissa. Am I right? Just a
Yeah.
question for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing I'll say about that is that we have obviously the careers counselling team who can help students basically, get their resume up to date and ready for an Australian market. Obviously, there's a little bit of changes that they might need to make. There's the support in terms of jobs while they're studying and also getting them prepared and thinking towards their future career. So one thing I think why our graduate outcomes are so good at Flinders is because we really take that time to work with those students on an individual basis. So there's mentorship programs, there's internship programs, and they're not just internship programs where you might come and do a little bit of filing or something. They're really meaningful internships. So we take the time to work out with the student what type of internship would you like, what type of placement would you like, and then we match with the employer. And what we've found is basically a third of students from their internships end up working there afterwards. So the outcomes from that are really strong. But yeah, and in general, our graduate outcomes are fantastic. And I think that's because that industry learning the whole way through, the projects that they do, the real life work all the way through their program and the mentorship. So
great. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you very much. Melissa, well, as we're proceeding to the end of the session, I have another question which I'd like to address. But there are a few coming, but there's one more. There's a student who completed his MBA from Holmes Institute, Sydney. He came back to Pakistan immediately due to some family commitments. And now he wishes to go back to Flinders and start a research degree. Could you please elaborate a bit about your research degrees and acceptance of research proposals in your university, please?
Yeah, sure. So the best place to start is if you just put research Flinders University into Google, and basically you'll get to the page that has step by step talks you how to apply, how to find a supervisor. So the first step is to really find that match of the supervisor. So if you can literally type in the area of research you're wanting to do, and it will bring up all of the supervisors within that area. And then you start by emailing them, and it has a guide of how to write basically your proposal, and you send that out. Now they ask you to contact, at least 3 or 4 yourself first. Now, if you don't get a response, you then contact the HDR team, the High Degree by Research team, and they've got the contact details on there, and then they will help to try and make that match. So the first thing is to get that supervisor match. As soon as we've got that supervisor match, then it's a straightforward, normal process where you just do your application and get an offer letter, accept your offer letter, all of that type of thing. So, but the first thing is, because with research, there's quite a bit to, it's not, it's a bit of a personality match as well. You need to make sure that you're going to be able to work together. So that's why it's important for the student to make
like a temporary marriage commitment, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So yeah, that's why it's important that the student makes that connection. Absolutely. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, there's another question. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of your time. Session is getting longer. I have to address the questions. What about the July intake? Are they starting online courses, and how many subjects students will take from Pakistan?
Yes. So yes, definitely a July intake. All of the programs that would be offered for July normally face-to-face will be offered online. Students will be able to choose 1, 2, or 3 subjects. So we wouldn't encourage students to take a full-time load online. So literally 1, 2, or 3 subjects it'll be up to the student to choose how many subjects they want to commence with online.
Okay, cool. Well, Sundar, you're watching the Facebook chat online, and I'm sure that you must have some questions as well. Please go ahead and ask questions.
Yes, I have one question with Miss Melissa and Mr. Suleiman. Do you offer any refund policy for the online courses?
Any refund, was it?
Do you have
Refund
any
policy for online courses.
refund for the online courses? Refund policy for the online courses?
Yes, so the refund policy is basically at this point, they're still looking at further details around this. So I might be able to provide more information later, but as it stands normally, what it is we have a census date. So you have a period of time where you can commence your studies, try it. If you're enjoying it, obviously continue, but if you're not enjoying it, you can withdraw without any penalty at that point. So the 100% will
It's a
be
full
that
refund. Technically, it's a full refund.
yeah, so there will be that census date option where you can withdraw with a full refund.
Okay.
Anything further than that for online studies. But at this moment, what I can say is census date is an official thing that we always have, and students can withdraw before the census date for a refund. Yes.
Well, there are questions coming, but I'm sure that, we can address those questions later as well. Well, so far from my end, thank you very much, Melissa. Thank you very much, Suleiman. I'll hand over my discussion to Sundar now, and I think that she'll have to say something. Sundar, over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamran sir. Thank you, Ms. Melissa, and thank you, Mr. Suleiman. It was quite an informative session, and I would again request my viewers, students watching this session, this is the good opportunity, this is the best opportunity to drop in your queries, to proceed for application process. You will be provided, you will be facilitated with the flexibilities offered by Flinders. Students who have completed their intermediate DAE, any subject with 45 to 50% marks, even they can
41 to 45 as well. I remember that. 45.
Okay,
I
41
must address that to every Pakistani student,
Yes.
Pakistani student with a 41 to 45%. I'll definitely advertise that because you guys.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have this bracket of 41 to 45%. They can get entry into the foundation programs. 50% and above can get an entry into the diploma courses. I think this is a very good opportunities for our students to study in Australia at this moment, at this difficult time. And I'm grateful to Miss Melissa for giving us her time and presenting so well. Also, I would also end this session by saying Flinders do offer up to 25% of scholarship. It's a huge thing. It's a very good opportunity. So students, please send your documents on 0322 5757807. Numbers are given on the screen. You can share documents, you can drop your applications, you can contact our consultants, consultant Mr. Kamran Chuktai Saab. You can proceed with your application at this right moment with this best opportunities, with this best flexibilities. So Ms. Melissa, before ending this session, do you have any message for our students?
Oh, please, any questions you have, please direct them to HR Consultants. They're a wonderful partner of ours. And yes, please, they will be able to assist you with every need. And we also have Suleiman, who can assist as well and is also happy to speak with you and to help you with anything in regards to your application. And we're really looking forward to seeing you at Flinders in Australia. So you apply and come and study with us.
Okay, perfect. And Mr. Suleiman, do you have any message for our viewers?
I would highly recommend, rather than just staying home, I would highly encourage our Pakistani students to apply for the online classes that we are starting in the July intake, because that will actually take them a step forward in learning what the Australian education sector is like. And whenever they go to Adelaide, finally, God willing, when they get their visas, they'll already be settled with the academic structure. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for any student from 1, 2, or 3 modules that they select to study. please move ahead and go forward with this opportunity that we're trying to offer, because it's for your own benefit.
Okay. And moving on to Mr. Kamran Chukai, sir, please share your goodbye message with our viewers.
My message to my viewers, first of all, is stay home, stay safe. So staying home safe links with Suleiman's message in online classes. The same message connects with Melissa. Once you started studying, then it makes you easier to reach Adelaide at the end. Apply now. This is the time. Universities are flexible. Courses are very easily available. You can study one module, two modules. You don't have to take burden. So please understand that we are here to help you. We are here to assist you, and make sure that you end up in a good university and in a good course. So this is the time to apply. Again, happy Ramadan. Stay home, stay safe, and wishes. Thank you very much.
So we end this session. I would again give message to my students, to our viewers, that please drop in your documents. You can proceed your application online by sending your documents on 0322575787. Till from our side, Ramadan Kareem and Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.